episode, we are messing with our John Deere 111 utility mower. On the last episode, I exploded the flywheel, which is not good. You can probably see the magnet's toast on it, so it will not spark. I also had to steal the coil for the off-road Murray V twin swap. If you guys haven't seen that video, you guys should. It was kind of fun. Anyways, speaking of 111s, this right here is the viewer's choice 111. You guys are deciding how we build it, if we modify it at all, if it stays as a stock mower, or if we build it into something crazy. Right now, looks like it's a mud mower is what everyone wants to see so far. Is the majority wants to see a mud mower that can go deep, is what I've heard. So we could definitely do a mud mower out of this, but you guys get to decide what we're doing. You guys have 1 week from today before we make the final call on what we're going to do with this thing. And so if you want to leave your opinion in here on the build, or even a name on what we should call this thing, please just leave it in the comments of this video, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as we can on what the final consensus actually ends up being on what we're doing with this mower. Anyways, getting back to the actual video that we're doing, we're fixing this John Deere. And you guys are going to be wondering, how the hell do you fix a broken flywheel like that? Because I mean, the bolt is broken off right in there and under the magnet. I don't know if you can see it above my finger. And then this one's toast, and it actually ended up cracking in here in the main flywheel. So that bit of the flywheel, unless we welded that back up, which is cast iron, so not doable. If we welded that back up, it might be reusable. But I figured, let's just get another flywheel. So here's what I've come up with. So my boss is pretty darn good to me. And what he did for me yesterday is he told me to bring in something for a trade. Because he happened to have this complete 13.5 single cylinder Tecumseh, which is the same engine base as what's in the 111. Just has a different sticker on here. It says 13.5 instead of 15.5. And we're going to use the flywheel off of this engine on our 111. And when we blow up the 15.5, the parts are going to go back on this one. Either way, I guess I better unstrap this thing, and we should get a flywheel on this other 111. Top cover off the 13.5 formula. And you can see the flywheel magnet. It's a little bit different, but they're the same idea, I think. Pretty sure this flywheel will fit on the other engine. If not, we'll just make this engine run and drop it in the 111. Because I want to go do some wheelies. And that's what we're going to also do in this video, is a ton of wheelies. I'm going to learn how to do wheelies proper on that mower. Well, looks like this big nut here has got to come off. Then we may be able to just get this flywheel to pop off. And then I'll bring the 111 over after I dig it out of the mountain of mowers that it's parked in by. And we will get this flywheel on that engine and see if it runs.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you.
These flywheels, they look physically close enough that they should fit on each other's crankshafts. So I'm gonna try swapping them over. If not, they're pretty easy to get on and off. So the biggest thing is you got this nut right here that holds in here, and you should be able to, once that's out and this washer is out, you'll be able to just grab the full fan assembly and it'll pull all of this assembly out the top here. And then to get the flywheel off, all I ended up doing is grabbing this little pry bar, run it under here, prying up against the block and the bottom of the flywheel, and then I just gave the end of this crankshaft a quick tap and the flywheel popped right out. We're going to steal the ignition coil from this engine for that engine, because we stole that ignition coil for the Murray. As looking at the two engines with the flywheels off, they look very different to me. Because you can see this charging system is a fair bit smaller. The starter's kind of totally different versus this one where it's all built into the casting of the block. We'll see if this flywheel fits. If it don't, it's going on there and that engine's going in here. And this one will be the parts engine then. I don't really care. Right, so let's have a look here. That charging system is not going to clear. The starter might line up. So I am now going to decide whether I want to take that charging system and stick it on this engine if it fits, and run this engine, or if I want to just put the flywheel back on that and that engine in here. So give me a few minutes to decide what I'm doing here, and you guys will see next. Looking at this charging system and everything, this is not going to fit on there, partially because it's a different spacing of the bolts, but also because this one runs a considerably bigger bolt than that one. That one runs about this, I think, the exact same bolt as what holds the coil on, so you can see how much smaller that is, and there's not room to tap it into a bigger size. So that engine's going to come out. It's going to be a parts engine for this engine all the way put back together. Now I'm going to pull this engine out. So I think I'm just going to pull this off camera because you guys already saw how it went together when it was on camera. So I'm going to pull this whole unit apart. We're going to put it on this engine and this engine in there. I was just about to go pull the engine out of the John Deere. So I think I got all the bolts and everything out of it. We'll see what happens. It isn't even that heavy with no flywheel on it. And then this guy goes like that. And bam, we're engine swapped. Here's my exhaust pipe. I got it off the other engine. I'm just going to clean this up and get rid of all these extra bolts and everything that are just randomly welded on the side of this. The spark plug's going to stay in case we ever decided to do a flamethrower with this one too, with a better coil mount setup. But I'm going to clean up all these welds and everything, and then we'll figure out what we're doing with it next.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked.
It appears as if this is still a overhead valve Tecumseh single, but there isn't a lot about it that's the same as that 15.5 was. For example, we take the stock exhaust off, try to put in our pipe that we made for the 15.5. The exhaust flange is at a different angle off the head, because otherwise our pipe would be in the starter if we're at the same angle. And the spacing on this, let me just show you something. Same spot on the floor. So if I lean this guy up like this and stick this on top, look at this. It's totally different. So I'm gonna have to cut this off, make this one fit on there. Guys, here's our Formula 13.5 horsepower engine with our stack on it. It's not bolted down yet because I'm running into an issue right now. For whatever reason, this engine is a overhead valve Tecumseh, but every other bit of it is totally different. There's not a single part from this thing that interchanges to that one, aside from the carburetor and intake, basically. Aside from that, basically, this is a whole different engine. So, none of the mounts and everything that lined up before line up with this thing. With this one, it is gonna, when it's lined up there, the exhaust hits the frame. Gonna have to notch that out. On this side, the oil drain and dipstick hit the frame. Gonna have to notch that out. Mounting bolts, they will end up lining up, but we're gonna need to drill some new holes. So, crazy. My other option is the 17.5 Briggs from the Murray, which is a very viable option at this point. It very well might go in there. We'll see what happens. As the Tecumseh is out, so I can test fit this 17.5, see if it wants to basically just bolt in. And it actually looks like it's going to fit way nicer than that Tecumseh. But that Tecumseh is going to go in one of these 111s, whether it's this one or the Viewer's Choice 111, I don't know yet. Either way, one of these is going to end up with 17.5. One of them's going to end up with that engine now. So I don't know for sure which one's going to be which, but this 17.5, only issue I'm running into, there's a bolting boss on the back of the oil pan here that touches the steering box. So I'm going to have to clearance the steering box just the tiniest bit to get all the mounts to line up. But aside from that, everything else should line up. So I'm kind of leaning towards this. We'll see if everything else is going to line up with this. I'm still going to end up going with this Tecumseh in this guy because the 17.5, where the exhaust and the valve cover and everything are lined up, does not clear this hood even a little bit. So the internal support rod that connects to the 2 hinges, this guy right there would have to get eliminated entirely, as well as this whole side panel. The hood is going to have to disappear for the exhaust to clear, basically. So I don't really want to cut this hood up, but I don't mind cutting up the other one because it's in way worse shape than this one. It's already been cracked and it's got reflective tape holding it together. So that one I don't mind cutting up. This one I want to leave stock. So that's going to go in the Viewer's Choice 111. We're still going to put this Tecumseh in this. I'm just going to have to notch the frame out. Guys, I just cut out this section of frame right here. As you can see, I eliminated a lot of frame section, but I think this is going to work now for the engine to just clear. Everything can just stick out the side as it needs to. And we don't have to do anything with that side yet, which is good. If we ever decided to 2-cylinder swap this, we may have to modify that side too. But for now, it's not a problem. I'm going to clean up this frame because it's all covered in metal dust and grime. So yeah, I'm going to clean this up. So have a good rest of your day. Okay, this is good enough for now. I'm going to drop the engine in here and we'll make sure everything clears and lines up now, because hopefully everything lines up now. I don't know. Hey guys, here we go. It's going to clear. All this is going to clear nice, and the hood is going to clear. It's going to be awesome, boys. Hey guys, I now have the engine put together enough that we should be able to see if this thing runs or not, so we can decide what we're doing with this thing next. So I'm going to hook up some jumper cables and let's see if this thing runs. Alright guys, so I just want to take this spark plug right here and stick it up against the ground or something to make sure that we got spark. So let me just crank this thing over. No spark. That should have shocked me right there, and it did not. So either I got the coil gap spaced wrong, which is possible, or it's got a dead coil. I ended up swapping out the coil because the coil ended up not making spark. I ended up swapping on the coil that I pulled off the Murray. I thought had no spark. Definitely has spark on this engine, so we're gonna crank it up and see if it runs. Alright, well that runs pretty good, I think. Now I just gotta hook up a kill wire, put the top cover back on, and we should be able to go out for a drive on this thing. She's loud, boys! I'm yelling at the camera! Try the wheelie, just because we can wheelie right there. Maybe. There's a small chance. need a muffler on this thing. This thing is way too loud again. Yeah, I can't even hear myself think right now. Anyways, I'm gonna try routing the belt different, I think, because right now how it's set up, I'm just thinking of this now. The belt runs on this side of this tensioner bracket right here, and I think it used to pull it the other direction. Oh, that's really hot belt. That I think should be on this side, judging by where I have the belt guard and that it rubs on this one the whole time you're going, which is destroying the belt. With the belt routed on that side of the tensioner, let's see if this thing works or not. Oh yeah, that's gripping way tighter. I bet you that was our issue all along. Yep, that was the problem. It just wheelied in second gear going downhill. Huh? Oh, and controlled down the hill too. This thing is actually a really good hill climber. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, this seems to have almost a perfect 50-50 weight balance, I think, because that corner's really good too. All right, with this new stack on here, this doesn't clear the hood, but we'll try it with a new gigantic Harley muffler, even bigger than the last one that we had on there. But I don't think this one has a catalytic converter in it. So we'll see what happens here. I'm gonna go do some hill climbing, and we're gonna go for a ripped around the yard, just because why not? Oh yeah, definitely put choke on right there. John Deere, here we go. Right up this, baby, come on. Oh, like nothing. This thing is a friggin' sweet crawler. I accidentally did this. Got kind of high centered, I think. Might be getting high centered on this. We'll see if I can get out of this or not. I'm stuck. I'll admit it, I'm stuck. Why did it just die? That's weird. Maybe I'm out of gas. It's puffing a lot of smoke out of there. Yeah, tank's out of gas. All right, here we go. Don't know if you guys can see that or not, but she's taking a smoke. All right, well, put some gas in it. Let's try to drive out. Oh yeah, she drove out, no problem. This seat is super slippery though right now. I don't know why. First gear. Oh yeah, first gear does it, no problem. I really like this pulley ratio actually. For this thing's purpose, it does quite well. Here we go. Up the gravel hill. Just first gear idling. I'm not even on the throttle. Look at this. It just does it like nothing. And look, we have working brakes. So we can do this all super controlled, going down it and everything. That's awesome. This muffler just reeks, man. It smells so terrible. But it sure quietens it down. Heck yeah, buddy. Guys, our tires are binding up just a little bit. second, even slipping the clutch. Like here's first gear, just slipping the clutch, just barely moving. Our row machine, we just tipped it over here like a week and a half ago. Me? Nope. I didn't tip. Figure we can make it up this, guys. Oh wait, we're gonna make it. No, we're not. Alright, I think if I'm gonna be able to get this thing to do a wheelie, we're gonna have to really load some weight on the back, because I know before it did do one pretty good wheelie, which was the thumbnail for one video, but I haven't got it to wheelie since, so weird. My goal is to get this thing to wheelie pretty good in this video, at least as good as the thumbnail for the 2 videos ago, whatever that was, when I broke the diff. So my plan is we're gonna hang a bunch of stuff off of this to give us some weight, hopefully. We'll see what happens. Guys, here's my plan. This is the bagger for the back of this thing. You guys have maybe seen this before, but it goes right there like that, and this covers it so it would catch grass before in through there. This bag is actually pretty strong, so I think we can load a bunch of weight in this. We'll see if it wants to wheelie. If we can add like 100 pounds to the back of this, and the further out we can get it, the more leverage we got. But if we can add like 100 pounds to this, I'm pretty sure she'll wheelie really, really good. First thing I'm gonna add in here is all these rocks. Maybe that big one. This works. We got some logs, the old engine from this thing, and a bunch of rocks on the bottom. I doubt it's gonna work because look how close it sits to the ground. But I guess it's probably worth a try. I don't know. Okay, let's see if we can even back up with this load on it or not. Okay, it does hang a tiny bit off the ground. What was that noise? There's no steering anymore, so. Whoops. I mean, it did wheelie really good, but. Huh. Okay. Let's see if we can do wheelies. It does not turn with this kind of weight on it. Oh, hey, buddy. Turn, baby. That's how you know there's some pretty good weight on the back here, because it just doesn't turn. Alright, well that did not work. I lost the bag of rocks out the back. Well, I mean that went to plan, but not to plan. Too much weight on the back. I'm gonna have to find a better way of holding that stuff in there. It doesn't not do a wheelie now. Oh man, look how loose the front end is. Just no turning. This is gonna be fun going around any corner now. Yep, I'm just cruising. There's where I lost the jerry can. Okay, that makes more sense. It's right there. Alright guys, I think that's where I'm going to end the video. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. In the next video, we are going to be adding a bunch of mods. Like what I promised like 2 episodes ago, a winch. And that never happened. But I mean, the engine swap wasn't really in the plans, but we got her done this episode. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the content, and we will be getting into some more modifications to this mower in the next episode. So stay tuned for that. If you like the content, please like it down below. Subscribe if you enjoy the content, and share it with your friends and your family. Because you know what? I really enjoy that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day.